Is it Netflix?
No!
Is it HBO?
No!
Is it Disney?
No!
Is it Apple TV?
No!
Then it must be Tubi. Tell them they're streaming.
Welcome to Tell 'em They're Streaming. My name is Robert Cameron, and sitting beside me here is an Australian comedian who has had the most followers on OnlyFans, but got thrown off for being too risque, even for OnlyFans. It is Richie Mother Flippin' Goodacre.
Hello. Yes, I got thrown off being too sexy. Yeah, like I said, I'm Richie. This is Abby, by the way. Yeah, but she'll hopefully just be sitting there docile, not uninterrupting. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Yeah. So yeah.
Hello, Abby. Hey, Richie, how's your week been?
Oh yeah. Oh, pretty. Yeah. All right. I had a pretty chill one this weekend. Next weekend's going to be a bit, bit more. I don't know, action packed. So I'm actually, speaking of dogs, I'm doing like a charity sort of gig where we also raise awareness for this foster care place called Happy Tales, and then in an effort to try and like foster away some dogs that are going to be in attendance. So yes, I'm emceeing. So I have to MC with people and dogs. I don't know.
How
Yeah.
hard is it to be a stand-up comedian for dogs?
Oh, it'd be very hard. It's hard. They're not really, they're pretty. They're not very attentive, and also I don't know how to respond to a heckle from a dog because I can't really go to my go-tos. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, fuck your mum. No, I can't do that. That was
Your mum was a bitch.
your mum was a bit. Fucking.
God, we're starting off lewd.
And then they're so cute too. Like, oh yeah, no, I can't stay mad at you, but also don't interrupt. But I want to squish you. Anyway, it's just evil, but that should be interesting. Me and my friend Grace do it sort of like every 3 months, but it's the first time I'm sort of like co-hosting it with her, so that should be fun. There's gonna be raffles and there's going to be cake. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. Dogs are all right, but
Cake
cake's
is better.
cake. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be a good time, and I can't wait to hear about it next week to see how it goes. Today, the film we're going to look at that we spun last week is The Psychedelic Priest from 2001.
AKA. Sorry.
All right, before we started, I said, Richie, can you remember this?
And I immediately forgot.
I'm throwing you under the bus, mate. I said, okay, when I say The Psychedelic Priest from 2001, you're going to say...
AKA Electric Shades of Grey.
And then I was going to go, AKA Jesus Freak.
Okay,
That was how it's supposed to have started. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, I could taste the tires. Yeah, thank you for but yes. I get AKA Electric Shades of Grey.
All right, cool. We've moved on.
Okay.
Okay, Tubi, the synopsis, Tubi says a priest experiences a life-changing acid trip and ditches the church for the wild open road in this groovy grindhouse flick, which was unreleased for 30 years. Just quickly, IMDb says a priest sheds his habit, tunes in, tunes on, and drops out for a road trip that will change his life and bring him sorrow. Filmed in 1971, but not released until 2001. Last but not least, Wikipedia. John, a Christian priest, says goodbye to his profession and takes a oh, this is a big word, disillusionist drive. He gets acquainted with a female hitchhiker, Sunny, who soon falls in love with him. Oh, spoiler alert. However, John does not feel the same towards her and leaves, returning to work at the church. Well, let's get out to watch the film now.
Yeah, I know. Wikipedia does that. It's just like, yeah, I just want to know a little brief stuff of the film. No, I'm going to tell you beat for beat what happens all the time. So just I'd hate like to see them like write stuff like video covers back in the day. Oh, and it's like, oh, and Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. Okay, I'll just put that back. Don't need to watch that anymore.
I think it'd be good if Wikipedia could do a synopsis on your own life, so you could go and see how your life finishes.
Yeah,
Actually, that's
yeah,
quite sad.
yeah.
Anyway, it's directed by William Grefé and Terry Morell. William Grefé is the director, but he's uncredited. And I'll get more into that in a second. William Grefé was born on the 17th of May, 1930 in Florida. He wrote and directed mostly exploitation films. There is a 2009 documentary called From the Swamp, the films of William Grefé. His daughter, Melanie Grefé, played Big Edna in Porky's 2 the next day in 1983. Useless information, but I thought it was quite funny. Some films he's been involved in: I Eat Your Skin, 1963, Sting of Death, 1965, The Devil's Sister, 1966, and Stanley, 1972, and Whiskey Mountain, 1977. It was written by Terry Morell, which also was a co-director. The cast was John Darrell, Carolyn Hoare, Joe Crane, Ken Keckler, and Larry Wright. So if we have a quick look at the film now, for his part, Grefé received $100,000 in trading stamps. This is why he does not get a credit as director. I don't know why. I just read this and thought that was interesting.
Okay.
The film is believed to start filming in California sometime in 1971. Apparently, there was no official timetable or script. Wikipedia says, and this is what I loved, the cast and crew were largely non-professional and real-life hippies. So there were real-life hippies in this film.
Yeah. Oh man, they exist. Okay, I thought that was but they got real life ones. Like, did they just like put out like a casting call? We're looking for real life hippies. None of those poser bullshit. Okay, you need to fill out a quiz. Okay,
Yeah, no fake hippies. We want the real stuff.
yeah.
Why the film was not released till 2001 is because production did not feel it was good enough to release them. If it wasn't for a distribution company called Something Weird Video, we may have never have got to see it because it was them who got it released in 2001. And lastly, Bill Gibron from DVD Verdict said the film was an accurate snapshot of America's collective hangover. He then went on to say, has got to be the single biggest downer since rave culture rediscovered the horse tranquilizer. So, yeah, thanks, Bill. It's now up for the film chat section. But if I can quickly explain, Richie, just the first 7 minutes of the film, and then we can take off. It starts off with a cool psychedelic concert. I actually really dug the music. It was really cool.
That's one of the highlights is the music. I like the music, especially the titular song. What is the Electric Shades of Grey?
Yeah,
that was a good song. I think it mostly done by this guy named I think it was Martin Mitchell or something. I was reading.
Oh, like Con the Fruiterer, dude.
He sounds very different. Honest.
He was at Around the Twist. Oh wow. Anyway,
I know
these people look genuinely stoned. A preacher is preaching to the stoners. This is where the priest wonders to himself, I wonder if. That's how I look to my students, an outdated, unchanging relic of another time, standing up on a soapbox, preaching to them. What would have happened, I wonder, if I just put away the soapbox and sat down and talked to them like a friend? So there are these students are smoking pot, and the priest tries his technique out of talking like a friend, and ends up being handed a drink. And oh my God, he drinks it. Yes, it has been spiked with acid.
I do like the how like that, like like that they're giving me he's giving them shit like hey, and they're like, hey, we're peaceful, we're not breaking, we're not like not harming anybody, and you're like, oh cool, and then they're like, then they drug him, which is definitely a crime. Yeah, there's like like smoking weed, like cool, but it's like and people be oh cool, you're not harming anybody. But if you're like, oh yeah, and we drugged a priest, you're like, okay, don't know whether I can agree, I can be on the same side with you there, but cool.
Well, this basically is now the film because the priest is on an acid trip, and the rest of the film, pretty much until the end, takes us on his acid trip, which is also a road trip. So it's an acid trip road trip. So yeah, but I've never actually had acid myself, had an acid trip, but I would hope it was much better than the one our priest was having. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know. Like, hopefully, it'd be more. I've been around people who've done acid, but I never partake myself. But yes, I do hope that it's like I don't know, bit more fun, a bit more, a bit more, bit more engaging than what his first trip was. I don't know. Yeah, it was very weird. And I thought for a while there, I'm like, is this just the whole movie? Is this like him?
Mm.
Is this like him just like all this weird stuff? I'm like, man, that is like the. Because that'd be a lazy movie. Just like dude has his drink spiked, has acid trip, the end. Saves you writing any dialogue. But yeah, so for the longest time, because it was the first sort of like trip lasts like whole 10 minutes. I'm like, man, this whole movie. But yeah,
What did you think that him having the trip, that first trip anyway, that had like the weird camera, uh, had some dude walking and getting blurred. What did you think of what they showed us? What it was like having an acid trip?
look, I think like I mean, based on his acid trip, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem as fun as I mean, my friends have painted it. But yeah, like but I feel like maybe it open when they have an acid trip, it opens up a more vivid part of their imagination, and they can they hallucinate more cooler shit. But maybe it's an indictment on the priest that he might be a bit boring, and then he can only I don't know.
Well, I've got another
Uh,
question for you. When he was having all those visions in the church, with with who do you think he was being talking to? Who was talking to him? Was that supposed to be God? I wasn't too sure.
I think that was implied that it was God. Yeah. I don't know. It's not. I'm not how I envisioned God to sound like. To be honest, I don't know how. I don't really know. I haven't really envisioned. Like, I didn't realize like God could actually talk. There's just powerful. I don't know. But yeah, I like to think like when I think of God, I just think of all different sort of voices. Like one you know,
I think of Brian Blessed, if you know who that
yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah. Like one day he'd have a powerful voice, but next time, like imagine if like you go up to heaven and like God sounds like Gilbert Gottfried. Welcome to
He passed away just recently, didn't he?
yeah, like last year. And
Oh,
actually
okay.
early this year actually, yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
sad.
so yeah, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried. But yeah, but yeah, maybe he can voice I like to think that maybe like there's someone who takes over the mantle of the voice of God, and then like they give up. And it's like, oh, we've got this new person in town, in heaven now. Like, let him be the voice of God, and then like I don't know, like yeah, and then like eventually, like when I got to heaven, it might be it might be a different God. Maybe it'd be like Bob
You're
Dylan.
not going to heaven. What are you
Oh
talking about?
well, if I go to like whatever, if there's a space between heaven and hell, heaven, I'll go there. But yeah, I just like imagine who would be the voice of God then? Would it be like I don't know, like I don't know, like Bob Dylan or something? I don't know. I don't
Well,
really do.
what was that?
not very good at impressions, so I don't know. But the whole bit relied on me doing impressions, and yeah, kind of. I stumbled into a corner I couldn't get out of. Anyway,
Well, I hope you've been working on your John Moxley impression for later on anyway.
oh, yeah, that's right.
Our priest starts off on his road trip where he picks up a hitchhiker wanting to go to LA. Funny enough, he suddenly is going to LA as well. But anyway,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm actually going that way. And then, yeah, it was, yeah, that was weird. We'll get into it. There's a lot of like timeline jumps in this movie. Yeah, it's like they, he because he goes, and like she's like, oh, yeah, like I'm going, I got picked up once and I went to like like, but this guy kept wanting me to come to this motel and stuff. And then, yeah, but then, yeah, and then he's like, oh, well, I'm not going to a motel, but I'm actually just camping. Like, what shit costs like? I mean, I understand, like, not want to go to a hotel if if someone's trying to like make a pass at you and stuff. But surely being in a motel is fucking a lot easier. I have a whole bit about camping. Camping's fucking stupid. Why would you want to like? You've already she's already sat out there for like however long waiting for someone, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna spend like we're gonna spend a few days just outside. Like, no, that doesn't sound like very intriguing to me. I don't know, like just I don't know, like why does he need to go in like camping? Is just because he's on a trip again? I don't know, like I don't know.
cheaper.
Yeah, well, camping is consensual poverty. Just go. Just save up money. You can scrounge up money and go and get a motel. I don't know. Yeah, like I felt bad for her. It's like, yeah, like I've been outside. We're waiting outside. The flies buzzing around my face, and they're like, oh no, oh now that we'll just go slightly, further up, and then just hang out outside. All right, I don't know. It
But,
doesn't.
but but our priest, I mean, he's not dodgy, but some reason he's carrying two sleeping bags.
Yeah, like oh, yeah, I've got to. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, that's handy. Oh yeah, I caught. I packed another sleeping bag just in case. On the off chance that I randomly meet like a hitchhiker I've never picked up before, and she wants to. Oh, this really came in handy. It's very convenient. This all fell into place. Uh,
Well, the
yeah.
next the next weird thing that happened is there was just this pregnant lady on the side of the road. There was no car, no nothing else. What was she doing? Was she trying to walk to
Well,
the hospital or what?
well, before that, no, this is where I think the timeline line jump is weird because they're like, yeah, like they go up to camp, but then like they're sort of walking like you know along the mountain range. It's like, oh, and then they're talking about like, oh, you know, uh, like yesterday when I picked you up, I'm like, what, like how's it yesterday? Like, no, like I thought it was the same day. How did a whole day pass between those things?
That's what happens when you're on acid.
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah, but yeah, then there was like this random pregnant lady, and then yeah, again things are convenient. There's a random pregnant lady, and then like she's about to give birth. She's like not like she's to term. She's about to give birth. She's about to give birth, and then they randomly stumble across like a doctor.
Yeah,
Uh, he,
they went on a bit. They picked her up and they went and found this field of people there. And sorry, continue on.
yeah, a few people, and then there's one sort of like doctor, doctor. Like yes, just to assume he's a doctor, but like because otherwise that's just weird. Immediately he goes. They go into the car, and he's just like, all right, yeah, yeah, get your pants off. It's like, man, I really hope you're a doctor.
Well, the
Uh,
funniest thing is when they called out for the doctor, he's in like sitting just in this field by himself smoking pot, I think.
just
It's like, hey, doc. Oh yeah,
yeah.
we got a
And then
pregnant
he's like,
lady.
it's like, and then it's like, oh, have you got a knife? We need to heat it up or something. And it's like, are you going to King Solomon this baby? What the hell? Like, yeah, I don't like. Yeah, like okay, maybe I don't know, but yeah, I'm just like, man, like, is this dude a serial killer? But yeah, and then yeah, like like they give birth and we never see her again.
No, we never do see her again, but she does give birth. The doctor helps out. What was the deal with that laugh at the end of the birth? It was like
I
this
don't know if
evil comedy laugh.
yeah, I don't. I thought is he like on other stuff as well? So yeah, you just started like randomly laughing. I'm like,
It's the weirdest thing ever. I mean, just watch the movie for this laugh. That's what you need to do. It's
yeah,
it's so weird.
it was like they maybe had a conversation outside of the film, and then for some reason, like and he laughed at a conversation that they were having, and for some reason they just sort of spliced it in. But yeah, it makes no sense why like he never actually reveals himself to be evil or anything like that.
So I'm going to just hit upon quickly now is the racial content.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, that was a bit.
the hitchhiker in the beginning was worried about having a coloured baby. Their words, not mine. The doctor travels with the priest and the hitchhiker, but the doctor also happens to be a black man. They want to go and get food together, but the doctor says he's not sure if it's a good idea in this part of the country. The others insist that they eat together. What happens is a race crime when two policemen beat up and end up killing him. I found this the most horrific scene in the film. It made me angry and sad, Richie.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely like yeah, it was very yeah, I don't know, like it's kind of sucks that like like I guess it's cool to it's important to kind of talk about this like moment in history, but like it's just I understand like racism was like very like rampant back then, and then yeah, it was true to real life where like black people couldn't dine at certain places or like weren't accepted. But I do kind of like he was like the hero in the sense that he was gave he was able to help this like woman like deliver a baby, and then it's like I don't know. I did. It'd be nice if he wasn't killed off, but I get what it's just like. Well, you're a black guy in a film. You've got to be subject to racism. Yeah, it was. Yeah, like yeah, it was sad. And then
And what the policeman said to him, I don't even want to repeat. It was so bad.
no,
Yeah.
no, yeah, there's a few words that you need, yeah, shouldn't say in this film, but yeah, but then like, so him like the priest and they're talking about it, and he's like, oh, she's like, I can't believe, yeah, I was like, oh, I can't believe like like they beat him up like that. It's like, oh well, we don't know, like like well he's like, well he escaped and when he escaped and and then hit by a car. I'm like, that's when he goes, it's not like they beat him up. He escaped and he got hit by a car. I'm like, what do you mean it's not like? That's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what happened. How gullible are you?
Yes.
You fucking dullard. Like what? You just like, oh, this happened. Oh yeah, sure. And then like when the bad guys are saying like what happened, I'm like, oh yeah, like he escaped and then got hit by a car. The dude, one of his psychics, like laughs his ass off,
Yes.
and then but then the priest's still like, yeah, no, that checks out. There's no what an idiot.
There's nothing going on here. We pre-mentioned this earlier, but there's a bit where the hitchhiker expresses her love for the priest, and the priest, for some reason, just gets pissed off with the hitchhiker for doing that. What was your take on that scene?
Yeah, I don't. I guess like they've only known each other for like what I don't know how far time goes in this film. It could be a lot, but yeah, it's just like I don't know. Like it made me think that does he have like no like I don't know like you can see the issues there where he doesn't want to get into a proper relationship. But yeah, like I understand like not feeling the same way, but like man,
But he gets
he kind
angry.
of he was kind of a dick. Like you can't. Like yes. I know it's maybe weird. Like some people like develop. But some people can develop feelings that quickly. It's just like you can't just like have a go at it for expressing her feelings. Uh,
No, very weird. But that's when the hitchhiker. Well, not long after that, they fall asleep, and the hitchhiker leaves the priest while he is sleeping. The priest put his hand out to touch her, like to see if she's still there. To me, this seemed like a romantic gesture after all that. Even though she wasn't
yeah.
there, it was quite a romantic thing, putting your arm over just to give you the hitchhiker a bit of a hug sort of thing. But she, of course, wasn't there. She'd nicked off.
Yeah, that's like it reminds me like the how it happens. I mean, it's happened in a few movies, like especially in the like 90s and 80s. But like, especially I think Lethal Weapon 3 is like where like Mel Gibson and Rene Russo like I just like like bickering back and forth like having a screaming match, and then just out of nowhere, like in mid conversation, they start making out. It's
Mm.
like I don't recommend actually trying this tactic on if you haven't known with a with a woman. To be honest, I'm not going to be honest. It might not go the same way. It might not be received the same way. But yeah, but then it's like, oh no, they like each other, love each other. I mean, yeah, cool. That's definitely how that would play out.
So,
Yeah.
so you're saying do not take romantic advice from Die Hard? Is that what you're saying?
Lethal Weapon or
Or
Die Hard.
Lethal
Yeah.
Weapon? Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it is. Yeah. Oh, don't. I want. Yeah, like yeah, don't take romantic advice from Lethal Weapon. That if I could impart any advice on this podcast, it's that.
That's excellent advice and one we should all go by. The hitchhiker goes missing. The priest hires this weird private detective to try and find the hitchhiker.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like he like does fuck off. But anyway, like yeah, I mean he does his job, I guess, but then he get anyway, he's weird. We'll
no,
get to
it was like nothing. Oh, here's all this information in one
He's
phone
always
call.
him from It's like, okay, right. It's like, did you just wake up and decide, oh, I'm going to do my job now? Uh,
So that leads, he finds that she's in the hospital. When she gets there, there's this old woman just standing there. I guess she's a nurse or something, and like, oh, I'll find out where she. Oh, she has passed away. Bang. Here's the old nurse, just like, no, we're not going to make it like lighter, or we're going to comfort you in the process. It's just no, she's dead.
she's dead. Anyway, anything else I can help with? Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
And when
But that was
sorry,
weird. Yeah, no, you go.
I was going to say because when the priest finds out about this, he starts on the liquor because he hadn't drank. I don't think throughout the film at all. I mean, he drank the acid drink, but he didn't know that. He thought it was just Coca Cola. But this is the first time he starts actually on liquor, and he's so drunk at one stage. I'll let you talk about the bloke in the bar if you like, but he was so drunk after he got home from being in that bar, he puts a band aid on. But if you look really carefully, he's pretty much just put it on his hair.
It's just like, yeah. This circling back a little bit, like what didn't like before she said, "Oh, you passed away." Didn't she say? Wasn't it implied that she like was back on the? She went back on LSD and
Yeah.
then she got behind the wheel
Yeah.
and then she drove off a cliff, but she was in hospital, but now she's passed away. This is
Yes.
like he's finding all this information. Oh yeah, like oh yeah. So she's back on LSD. Oh yeah, and then she got behind a wheel, fell off a cliff. She's in hospital. Oh no, wait, she's dead.
Yes.
Anyway, like wow, that is But yeah, is this the guy in the bar? Is this the one where he like picks a fight with
Yeah, like
or
he doesn't like his hair.
he does like his hair? I mean, you know what? Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough.
Uh,
The homophobic racist is right.
well, yeah, well, that was a bad haircut. It was a bad haircut. I'm just gonna. It's a. But yeah, yeah, it was they. I can't remember what he says, but yeah, then they get into what he says to provoke him, but they get into a bit of a
It,
scuffle.
it is a very interesting scene to watch. And this sort of leads up to nearing the end of the film where he buys some heroin
Yeah.
from a drug dealer. But I'm interested to know how he knew how to cook and shoot up heroin as this being his first time and he was on his own.
Yeah, you'd think that I don't know. I feel like the movie didn't really kind of think that one through. It's like, oh, like unless like how sometimes like 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 homophobic politicians or like homophobic or even like priests and stuff and that they're publicly homophobic. Then like you find out they got a profile on Grinder.
Mm.
You think that it's like he's like do you think that like like he's all like anti-drugs and stuff, like to people to maintain an image of a priest, but he's actually
He's on Silk Road.
he's on Silk Road. He has these he's on the dark web getting all these deliveries to his house. Yeah, so just shooting like shooting up. But so yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't know if the movie kind of really thought that through. It's just like, oh, well, how hard is it to shoot up? I'm like, yeah, well, it is if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, the priest gets saved by some good Samaritans, where he is taken to, yes, you guessed it, a church. This is where he is preached at about how drugs are bad and Christ is good.
I mean, I think that's what happened. That microphone that they were fucking that they were talking into was the shittest microphone. It was like Bane was in a helicopter. Jesus.
Bane would probably improve this movie. Anyway, the priest is a good priest again. What's your overall thoughts on the film, Richie?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more content to talk about than like maybe the last one. It's because yeah, there was like definitely a lot more just like gets bad scenes. I yeah, like there were definitely parts of it I was it's like okay, yeah, I'm kind of bored with it. It was not as engaging as say like Fists of Bruce Lee. But look, like there were really like weird things to talk about, so it gave us a lot of content. So look, I don't know if I'll delve into this movie again. I could think it could have been like more like as a movie it could have been more engaging. I liked the music as we said. But yeah, I feel like I mean I've talked to you about like slow paced movies, but sometimes this goes out at a snail's pace. It was like honestly I had to watch this movie in parts because I was like there was parts where I wasn't paying attention and I didn't realize I wasn't paying attention. Like, oh yeah, that's right, because I was it was yeah, but like it's not like bad. I'm glad I watched it because there is some wacky things to talk about. But yeah, I don't know. I as a overall movie, I don't know, like 2.5, and as a Tubi experience, I don't know, probably I'll be generous to say 3.
I um I agree mostly with most of what you said. I found like some of the bits and pieces scenes. Did I say pizza scenes? Um,
Pizza scenes, yum! I'm hungry.
I think that's when I got the munchies. Anyway, some of the scenes I actually quite liked. I thought, oh, this is actually, important stuff to have in a movie, but it was made so cheaply that, yeah, it didn't quite work. I mean, there was a bit where we saw a flashback of the hitchhiker in the car accident. And she's just like, it's just like there's broken glass and there's blood just coming down her face and stuff like that. Look, I think it's well worth a watch because I think all films are important, but this is not one you're going to be putting on any top 10 lists. I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a general score or a normal score of 2, but I'm going to give it a 4 for a Tubi score because this is what the sort of movies that we want to watch while we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. What do you think about the titles though? I don't think the titles like the psychedelic priest. Yeah, he had a trip, but it's not like it's. I guess that's the most like logical title. But he had the trip, but like it doesn't like last like throughout the film. It's just like it's a part of it, and obviously it leads him on to this like adventure. But it's like you'd think it was just like one big I don't know kind of like I said, I thought the ass trip at the start was going to be the whole movie. I'm like, that makes sense. But
I
then
think,
there's like, yeah,
sorry, I was going to say, I think the music was probably the most psychedelic part about it. And the music all the way through, even the bits and pieces
yeah,
scenes where they just got these like weird drum solos going on, I thought was really cool.
yeah. But then like Electric Shades of Grey. That's I mean, like when you think of Shades of Grey, you kind of think of the Dakota Johnson film these days, but like or the E.L. James novel. But like,
It's a
I
romantic movie.
it's a romantic movie. Yeah, just for briefly for context. So like back like earlier on when me and Robert used to go to the movies, we Robert had to review 50 Shades of Grey, and so he sat there, and then like we were after the movie, we were lamenting how much we kind of didn't like it, and then like we started a conversation with these this sort of like this like
Old lady.
old lady, and like and we said something like it's like it's a romantic movie, it's a romance, you should like it. I'm like, okay. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, electric shades are great. I get it. And then like what Jesus freak, it's like it's not like he preaches at the start. It's not like he's preaching throughout the movie, but I guess that's kind. I mean, I like that title more. I don't know why they settle on one, but yeah, I guess it's sort of like the Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned. Was it?
Yeah, go on. Can you do the whole title?
Yeah. How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb or something. What was it called?
I don't know what the whole title is, but yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm like we just or the like the Birdman and the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. It's like oh, we can't figure out a title. Let's just go with both.
It's now quiz time.
Yay! Let's get quizzical.
Let's get quizzical. Okay, the films that we're going to look at in this quiz are related to the hippie subculture. And the game is going to be called the AKA game.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to give you a name of a film that also is known by another name. You've got to guess that name.
Okay, cool.
All righty. Yeah, you ready? Warm your hands. Well done. All right. What?
Thank you. Yeah.
What is the movie The Acid Eaters from 1967 also known as? Is it A, The Acid Lovers, B, The Acid People, C, The Acid Principle, or D, The Acid Gang?
For a minute there, I thought you were going to give me multiple choice. I'm like, man, I could. Easy. The Acid Principle.
Incorrect. You want another? You want to know another go?
The Acid Gang.
No.
A.
The Acid Lovers.
Yeah.
No, it was The Acid
Oh my
People.
God. Wow. What a great start.
Yeah, you're usually pretty good at this sort of stuff. All right, a more famous movie now, Easy Rider from 1969. I want to know what it's also known as. And this, of course, I will say for this one, it also includes working titles and stuff like that. So, yeah. Is it A, Motorcycle, Love, and Drugs? Is it B, The Bikers? Is it C, The Loners? Or is it D, The Ride?
Can you guys really want to get one more time?
Yep. A is Motorcycles, Love, and Drugs. B, The Bikers. C, The Loners. Or D, The Ride.
I'm gonna go The Ride.
Nope.
Motorcycle, Love and Drugs. Is that the one? A.
No, that's not it either. So you got Bikers or The Loners.
The Loners.
Correct. It's The Loners.
Yeah. And by the way, people listening, that was Jasper that just went to my bathroom. Hopefully, he's not doing his business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's. Well, I didn't know why you didn't stick around for the quiz. Number 3, another well-known movie. What is the movie Midnight Cowboy from 1969 also known as? Is it A, Asphalt Cowboy? Is it B, Country Gigolo? Is it C, Hey, I'm a street walking here? Or is it D, Cowboy Becomes a Man?
B.
Country Gigolo?
Yeah.
No. You don't think it's, hey, I'm a street walking here?
No. No.
Because, of course, that's the famous line in the movie where Dustin Hoffman is like, hey, I'm a walking here. And I cleverly put street in front of it. And,
Yeah.
So you've got Asphalt Cowboy or Cowboy Becomes a Man.
Cowboy Becomes a Man.
No, it's Asphalt Cowboy.
Asphalt Cowboy? Okay.
Asphalt Cowboy. Alrighty.
I'm doing great.
I guarantee you'll get this next one right, okay?
Okay, I don't know if I'd put guarantees on that. You might
Oh,
pinch
I'm
me a
feeling
bit.
pretty good. I've got this like weird feeling that I know you're going to get this one right. All right,
All
number
right.
4. What is the movie Psych Out from 1968, also known as? Is it A, Revolt of the Flower People? B, Love is a four-letter word? C, Love on Haggett? Or D, The Love Children?
Hey,
Which was
something about flower people.
Revolt of the Flower People?
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. I thought I heard that somewhere actually. So that's
Uh,
yeah, I did get it
it's
right. Good
it's
pressure
a,
on me, and it paid off.
it's a bit of a trick because they were all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you couldn't get
Okay.
it wrong. Love it is a four-letter word.
Okay.
Love it on the Haggett and the Love Children are all right. So that was a bit of a tricky one. That's how I could guarantee it.
Fair enough.
What is the movie An American Hippie in Israel from 1972, also known as? Um, the original title is Trampist, but we're just looking at the English title. So, An American Hippie in Israel, 1972, is better known as A, Middle Eastern Boogie, B, The Hitchhiker, C, Tell Viv He's a Hippie. So I'm just amused at my own work here. D, Take the Bus for Freedom.
Tell Jim he's a hippie guy. Not
Do you get it? Do you get it? Tel Aviv? Tel Aviv, he's a hippie. Tel Aviv, he's a
tell
hippie. Tel Aviv.
tell him he's a
I'm a
yeah.
genius.
Tell him he's a hippie. Oh God.
All right, it's not that one. I'll give that to you right now.
They're going to say American Werewolf in London. uh, uh,
Is it Middle Eastern Boogie, The Hitchhiker, or Take the Bus for Freedom?
take the bus for freedom.
Incorrect. Middle Eastern
Middle
Boogie or The Hitchhiker?
Middle Eastern boogie.
Incorrect. It was The Hitchhiker.
Oh, so it's the most boring one. Okay, cool.
Okay, another fairly famous movie. What is the movie Up in Smoke from 1978, also known as? Is it A, Cheech and Chong's Night Off? Is it B, Cheech and Chong's Special One? Is it C, Cheech and Chong's Greatest Hits? Or is it D, Cheech and Chong with the Cure? So is it Night Off, Special Ones, Greatest Hits, or with the Cure?
I'm gonna say night off.
Incorrect.
Greatest hits.
Correct. It's the Greatest
Yeah.
Hits.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7. What is the movie Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, also known as? Is it A, Hollywood Valley and the Chicks? Is it B, Hollywood Dolls? Is it C, The Valley of Ladies? Or is it D, Hollywood Vixens?
By the way, a fun fact: this was written by Roger Ebert, the famous
Yes.
film critic.
Yes.
Um, uh, 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 options one more time.
What was that?
Options one more time. Give me
Oh,
options.
A, Hollywood Valley and the Chicks. B, Hollywood Dolls. C, The Valley of the Ladies. Or D, Hollywood Vixens.
I'm gonna go the Valley of the Ladies,
Incorrect.
Hollywood Vixens.
Correct.
Okay.
Hollywood Vixens. What is the movie The Magic Garden of Stanley Sweetheart from 1970, also known as? Is it just known as Stanley Sweetheart? Is it B, that was A, B, Sweetheart Mushrooms, C, The Magic Garden, or D, Stanley's Magic Garden?
Sweetheart Mushrooms.
Incorrect.
Man, Stanley's Magic Garden.
Incorrect. So you got The Magic Garden or just Stanley Sweetheart?
Stanley Sweetheart.
Correct. It's just Stanley Sweetheart.
Yeah.
All right, couple more to go. What is the movie More American Graffiti in 1979, also known as? Is it A, The Wind Cries Mary? Is it B, Purple Haze? Is it C, Voodoo Chili? Or is it D, Foxy Lady? I don't know if you've seen what I've done there, Richie, but they're all Jimi Hendrix songs.
Yeah. Uh, uh, Purple Haze.
Correctamundo. First one to get the first go. Whoa. You can
Yeah.
celebrate a bit more.
You see, can you hear me?
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh, good. Purple
All right.
Haze. Yeah, cool.
The last one is, what is the movie Riot on Sunstrip 1967 also known as? Is it A, Inferno on Sunset Strip? Is it B, Fight on Sunset Strip? Is it C, Melee on Sunset Strip? Or D, is A Bloody Good Punch Up on Sunset Strip?
I'm gonna say Melee on Sunset Strip.
It isn't.
Uh, you were very proud that I got it wrong. Yeah, it
No.
isn't.
I'm still proud of A Bloody Good Punch Up on Sunset Strip. I thought that sounded very
Bloody-
Australian.
Yeah, funny. Fight on Sunset Strip.
No, it's the other one, Inferno on Sunset Strip.
Inferno. Okay.
Okay, well, that's it. So hope you enjoyed the quiz.
Yeah, I hope you did better than me.
And I do hope you are ready because you're about to spin the wheel of cheese, Tubi cheese.
Wheel of cheese. Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah. No, I am actually. Cool. So just to recap, we have drama, which has got I think two left. Action, comedy. Try again.
Those bloody try agains.
Horror, martial arts. Try again. Sci-fi fantasy. Try again. Thriller and western.
Alrighty, I'm really looking forward to this.
All right, here we go. And we are spinning right now.
Spinny, 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 spinny,
spin doctor.
spin doctors.
Martial arts. We're going back to martial.
Woohoo! I love the martial arts, so this one's a good one for me.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
cool. Just give me a second. Yeah. So here we go. All right. So we did Fist of Bruce Lee. We've got 7 Grandmasters from 1977, the Shaolin Drunk Monkey from 1981, or the Best of the Best from 1989.
Alrighty, awesome.
All right.
The tension.
The tension.
We've started up a Facebook page, so you can go tell them they're streaming. You can find that on Facebook. TELLEMTHERE. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Streaming. You can still streaming. So yeah, check us out on Facebook.
Oh, no, it's they are though. So THEY. Yeah. Anyway, THEY. Yeah. Tell them they are streaming. I guess.
Sorry,
Yeah.
THEYRE.
Yeah.
Oh, why did we pick such a hard name to spell out?
I know. We should just call it the Tubi podcast. No.
Yeah.
Blogs talking about Tubi. Anyway, cool. Just all right, here we go. And spin.
Spinny, spinny. Spinny, spinny. Spinny, spinny. Spinny. Spinny.
The Shaolin Drunk Monkey.
All right, keep that in front of you while I check that it's there. The Shaolin, SHAOLIN. Drunk. The Shaolin Drunk Monkey is there.
Cool.
Let's have a look at what it says. Sorry about that. It started to play.
Yeah, I was going to play the movie.
A conceited martial arts master is challenged to a deadly duel by an opponent he assumes is less than worthy. It's directed by Godfrey Ho, which I've actually heard of. I know about Godfrey Ho. He does some good stuff, but he also does some pretty bad stuff. And Jeong Yong Kim, starring Elton Chong. That's not real, is it?
Elton John.
Elton Chong. Oh, I'm so gonna have to look this bloke up.
Is there a new subgenre of like things of things that we need to explore? Is there Elton exploitation?
I don't know. We'll have to find that
Before he's
out.
even passed away. He hasn't passed away. Yeah.
Jong Hon Guk and Eagle Han. It's Han.
That is a dope name.
I know. He should be a wrestler. Talking about wrestling, it's your time to do impression of your T-shirt, which is John Moxley.
John Moxley. Oh, that's right. Put me on the spot. I don't know. Like John Moxley doesn't have a distinct voice, but yeah.
Just talk about Renee Paquette.
Yeah, bloody bloody Renee is anyway. Yeah.
You sound so Aussie. You sound so Aussie at the moment.
Yeah.
Just do like, I guess he's like, yeah, I'm John Moxley.
Hi, I'm John Moxley, and welcome to Tell 'em They're Streaming.
I just got a shout out by John Moxley.
Check out my movie Cage Fighter, which if that does pop up on Tubi, we'll watch it because it's also got Christian in it as well.
Alrighty. Enough wrestling talk. All right. Plugs and stuff. Where can people find you?
Cool. Yep. I'm there as well as on here. So I don't know why I laughed then, but anyway. As well as on here.
Yeah. You can watch me right now because you're watching me.
Yeah, I know. You can just listen to me talk about plugs. Yeah, I was like, I just got like this weird like lump in my throat when I said that. So that's what I think. Yeah, I'm on I'm on this podcast called Tournament Fights. It's a movie podcast. Like a regular guest on there.
Movie Hero Network, isn't it?
Movie Hero Network. You're on the ball. Yep. Movie Hero Network. Having a bit of a break at the moment because the co-hosts, Jordan and Austin, having a bit of a road trip. So but they'll probably come back soon. And I'm on their sort of sister show called Tier Ranker. I'm also on a wrestling podcast on that network called The Lonely Marks. Like we just talk about all things wrestling news.
Where can we find you? As in, if we want to see where we can go and see you do some gigs.
Yeah, you can find me just Richard Goodacre on Facebook. I've got a like page. Don't update it as much as I should, but I will I will get on top of that. And you can just find me all around the comedy clubs in Brisbane.
And on OnlyFans. Oh no, you're chucked off. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back on there.
Can I just say one other thing? Is last week I put up a trailer at the end of the podcast, which most people liked. I could not find a trailer for this film, but I have found a trailer for the director and some of his other films that, we mentioned earlier. So what I'll do is I'll find a trailer of his and put that up just so you guys can have a look to see, how good this director is. Which is William Griffey.
Shout out to William Griffey if you're still kicking. I know you're born. Was he born in the 1930s? Probably not, but you never know.
And it was in Florida. Anyway, enough of that.
Anyway, cool. I guess we'll wrap it up here. And until next time. To be continued. To be continued. Go. I'll nail that intro eventually. Hang on. To be continued.
It's not an intro, mate. It's an exit.
Exit.
That's a catchphrase.
Oh, now I don't know words. Oh, well, now that outro catchphrase to be continued. Well,
Since the very beginning of time, in the Garden of Eden, one of God's creatures has symbolized the darkest fears of man's primitive emotions. It is a creature that is hypnotic, sensual, and loathsome. It is the snake. But not all men have known a snake like Stanley. Meet Stanley. A snake unlike any you have ever seen, in a motion picture that will make your skin crawl. A terrifying journey into the primitive swamps and jungles of the Everglades, a world where the only instinct is survival. A world where the cold-blooded creatures walk on two legs.
There's no accident. There's no accident we shot your father. We killed him! You liar! Liar! Now you're gonna get what you gave me a few minutes ago!
Stanley, the incredible story of a man and snake. They shared a bond of trust in a world of hate.
I'm sorry, Stanley, but you're gonna have to stay in the truck. People just don't understand friendly rattlesnakes.
Stanley, starring Chris Robinson, a man who could no longer live among men. Stanley, a snake who trusted his natural enemy and was used to carry out a man's personal vengeance. Stanley, the incredible story of a man who killed to save the friends he loved and learned to love the art of killing. When Tim gets mad, Stanley gets deadly.
Stanley. Bite his hand.
There has never been a motion picture like it. If you have ever touched the emotions of horror and revulsion, if you have ever feared the fangs of death, then you know the terrifying impact of Stanley. A snake that learned that only man kills his own kind.